Work hard, give your best. You can do this. Success is earned. Dream big, never give up. Focus, do what you love what you do. Stay humble. With this beautiful thought, a very good morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are in good health. I, Shreya Jadhav, welcome you all to my e-learning channel. And today we are going to learn English, Grade 10, Poem 4, The Ball Poem. And this poetry is written by John Berryman. So let us know something about the poet. John Berryman, born October 25, 1914, died January 7, 1972. John was an American poet and scholar. He was a major figure in American poetry in the second half of the 20th century and is considered a key figure in the confessional school of poetry. His best known work is the Dream Songs. Setting: a boy loses a ball. He is very upset. A ball doesn't cost much, nor is it difficult to buy another ball. Why then is the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. So now, dear students, let us go through the introduction for answer. Whenever you write down your question answers for your test and your examination, always remember that first you are supposed to start your answer with introduction. This makes your answer more presentable. Poem. Poem's name, The Ball Poem. Poet's name, John Berryman. Genre, poetry. Summary: when the boy loses a ball, he realizes and learns the experience of losing something. So over here, this is the introduction for your answer. Now we will go through the reading and the explanation of the poem. So let us begin. First, I will read the first 9 lines over here and then I'll be explaining it. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There, it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I could not intrude on him. So over here the difficult words are: merrily means cheerfully, ultimate means final, rigid means unmoving, trembling means shaking with fear, bouncing, moving up and down quickly, intrude means to go where one is not welcome. So over here the poet is trying to express that how a little boy has lost his ball. And what the boy is doing? He was just observing, he was seeing. He was observing what? He was observing that ball merrily bouncing, cheerfully bouncing down the street. And where that ended up? It ended up in the water. No use to say Oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. So when we think like this, no, it becomes so silly for us that this little boy is crying for just a ball. He could purchase some new one, but there may be plenty of balls. But in a present situation, he is in ultimate grief. He is in pain. Why? Because that ball holds plenty of sentiments, feelings, and emotion with him. Moreover, to that, he is rigidly, means unmovingly standing over there, and he is trembling, means he is shaking with fear, and he is staring down, means he is continuously looking down. Where? In the water. And all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. And he is observing that how the ball is moving into the water. I would not intrude on him, and it was something like that one would not be welcome to go over there. So over here the poem or the poet is trying to tell us that how the boy is observing and seeing that his ball is disappearing, that ball which he loves very dearly. The second paragraph. A deem another ball is worthless. Now he senses his first responsibility. In a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most now many days, how to stand up. So over here the difficult words are grief means sorrow, responsibility means duty, desperate means worried, possession means ownership, whistle, that is an instrument that produces a high pitched sound when we blow into it. Explore means to travel to unknown and new places and learn about them. Epistemology, it is a theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope, and in the distinction between justified belief and opinion. So over here, for the very first time, the boy is realizing his first responsibility. Beforehand, he might have never thought about that if the thing is lost or if the thing is not with me, what would be the circumstances? And because of that thing, he is observing and he is getting a knowledge that he is supposed to take care of all his belongings. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. Now, this is a wise saying actually to be said, that people will take balls means the people will be there to take up the opportunities which are given to you, or sometimes opportunities could be lost also, and no one will be helping you to buy it back. Money is external over here, and that little boy is learning well behind his desperate eyes, and he is realizing that how to stand up, how to be a courageous man, and to take up his responsibility, and to move ahead or to stand up in the difficult time. So over here, let us go through the summary back. So over here the poet John Berryman has in his poem, The Ball Poem, told us about a little boy who had in his childhood experienced the feeling of loss when his ball rolls away from him and falls into the water of sea at the harbor. The boy sees his ball disappear. It was the first thing that he really loved. With the sense of loss, he experiences grief. The, to the people, the loss of a ball is a minor problem, but any other ball cannot replace what love the boy had for his belonging. The poet wants people to let the boy learn to handle his own loss. Means we are responsible for whatever we have done. Money is not important as it cannot bring back the same thing that the boy loved. Yes, once the thing is gone, after losing, we understand the importance of the thing. In the poem, the ball represents the childhood of the boy and his love filled innocent days. The loss of the ball is the loss of childhood. That once the ball is gone into water, once that childhood or opportunity or anything in the life is gone, will never come back. And just by standing over there, we might be regretting that those were the days when we used to smile more, or we used to be more human. The poem also hints at losses being a part of one's life. If we want to be successful, then failure or losses or loss are part of it. The poet is pained by the grief that the boy experiences, but he knows that growing up is an unavoidable process and it is necessary to learn to be strong and to go on with one's life no matter how much hurt the losses cause. So, I hope that you have understood the poetry. This poetry gives us lesson for life, how to live. Yes, literature is such a beautiful thing. It not only teaches us the textual portion, but it also connects us with our day-to-day emotions and our life. So now, let us move ahead and we will be doing the figures of speech for the poetry. The first one, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? So in the first line, the first figure of speech is interrogation. Over here, a question is asked not for the sake of answer, but for a poetic effect. It is being written down. The second one is alliteration. Over here, the consonant sound H is being repeated in the words like has and his. So that H is being repeated. So this will become alliteration. Second one, what is he to do? So the first figure of speech over here is interrogation. A question is asked not for the sake of an answer, but for poetic effect. The second one is repetition. Over here, the word what is being repeated twice for the poetic effect. The third one is internal rhyme. Over here, the rhyming words to and do are being used in the same sentences and they both are rhyming. And as they have been used in same sentence, it becomes internal rhyme. The third figure of speech is I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street. So over here, the figure of speech is personification. What is personification? When any human quality is given to any inanimate object, that is ball. That non-living inanimate object ball is given human quality of merrily bouncing, means cheerfully bouncing. So this becomes personification. The next figure of speech is and then, merrily over, there it is in the water. So over here the first one is personification. So the inanimate object ball is given human quality of merrily bouncing. So this becomes personification. The next one is exclamation. Over here you can see at the end that an exclamatory mark is used. So an exclamatory form is used for poetic effect. The next one is alliteration. Here the consonant sound th is repeated in the words there, the and then. You can see that in initial th is used, so that becomes alliteration. Next one is no use to say, oh, there are other ball. So over here the figure of speech is litotes. A negation is used to convey a positive meaning, that is useless to say that there are other balls, or you can even identify like this, that as no is used, it indicates or it signifies that it is litotes. The next one is exclamation. So over here an exclamatory form is used for poetic effect. Now if you observe over here we cannot find any sort of exclamatory mark. Then what is the exclamation which has been used? You can see over here, dear students, oh, there. So that oh signifies exclamatory form. So this will become exclamation. The next one is an ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. So over here the figure of speech is transferred epithet. So over here epithet, it means the adjective, and the adjective is the ultimate shaking, and this has been transferred from the boy to his grief with which he is closely related. Seventh one, as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. So over here the first figure of speech is internal rhyme. Here the rhyming words trembling and staring are being used in the same sentence. You can see that at the end ing form is being used. So this becomes internal rhyme. The next one is alliteration. So the consonant sound st is being repeated in the words like stand and staring. So this will become alliteration. The next one, all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. So the first figure of speech over here is transferred epithet. So here the adjective young has been transferred from the boy to his day, with which he is closely related. The next one is repetition. The word his is being repeated twice. So when the words are being repeated, it becomes repetition. The next one is metaphor. There is an indirect comparison between the childhood of the boy and the ball. And over here, the point of comparison is that they are lost. So this becomes metaphor. I would not intrude on him. So here The figure of speech is litotes. So a negation is used to convey a positive meaning, that I would leave him alone. Tenth one, a deem, another ball is worthless. So here the figure of speech is hyperbole. That is an overstatement that another ball has no value. Now it is not possible. It is likewise that other new ball may also have the attention of the little boy. So this is an over exaggerated statement. 11th one. Now he senses his first responsibility in a world of possessions. So here the figure of speech is epigram. Now what is epigram? It is a pointed statement that the loss of the ball teaches him the meaning of what it feels to lose one's worldly possessions. Yes, that it teaches, or it is a bitter saying, a true wise words, which tells us or let us know that if the boy loses something, he is supposed to learn the importance of it. So this becomes epigram. The next one is people will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. So the first one is repetition. Over here the word, or we can say will, is being repeated. Next one is alliteration. So over here we have the consonant sound B being repeated in balls, B and boy. The next one is apostrophe. It means that there is a direct address made to the boy who doesn't respond. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. So here the first figure of speech is alliteration. Over here the consonant sound B is repeated in the words balls, back and buy. So over here it becomes alliteration. The next one is litotes. Negation is being used to convey a positive meaning, that one hardly buys a ball. And you can also observe or see like this, that as no is used, it will become litotes. 14th one. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss. So here the figure of speech is transferred epithet. The adjective or the epithet desperate has been transferred from the boy to his eyes, with which he is closely related. The next one is synecdoche. The meaning of it is a part stands for a whole, or a whole stands for a part. So over here we can see that eyes represents the whole boy. So it will be synecdoche. 15th one. How to stand up knowing what every man must one day know. So here the figure of speech is alliteration. The consonant sound K is repeated in the words like knowing, know, and we have M sound in the words like men and must. So this will become alliteration. 16th one and the last figure of speech, and most now know many days. How to stand up. So here the figure of speech is alliteration. Here the consonant sound M is being repeated in the words most and many. These two words are starting with M, so this will become alliteration. So over here our figure of speech is completed. I hope you all have understood the poetry, the meaning of it, as well as the figures of speech. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Dear students, if you have any doubt or queries, you can comment down in the comment section. Thank you for watching.